Eric had survived 3 galactic wars, 2 planetary sieges, and more skirmishes than he cared to count. Now, at 47 standard years, he wanted nothing more than solitude. His dome on the frontier moon of Kesha 7 provided exactly that, a transparent shield against the crimson dust storms. A garden where earth vegetables somehow thrived in alien soil, and blessed silence. That silence shattered one evening when 5 figures appeared at his airlock. Through the reinforced glass, Eric studied them, Draconians, specifically. Females of the species, their elegant scaled faces marked with the distinctive mourning patterns of widows. Their once iridescent scales had dulled to ash-grey, and their wings hung limp with exhaustion. The tallest one held a small child against her chest. Eric's translator crackled to life as she spoke. "Human, we beg sanctuary. Our clan dome was destroyed. We have nowhere else." Every instinct screamed at him to refuse. Draconians and humans had been bitter enemies during the Second Coalition War. He'd lost friends to their plasma breath. But looking at the child's enormous golden eyes, Eric felt something he thought he'd buried with his military. Career-compassion. He opened the airlock. The 5 women entered with desperate gratitude. The leader introduced herself as Sil. The others were her sisters, Vexina, Maratta, Kyloth, and young Desha, who couldn't have been more than 20 standard years. The child, barely 3, was named Pyrrhix. 3 days, Eric said firmly. You rest, you eat, then you move on. Silthera bowed her head, her crest frills trembling. You show more honor than our own kind, human. That first night, Eric learned their story. Their husband's 5 brothers had been warriors in the Draconian Defense Fleet. When they questioned a corrupt admiral's orders to raid civilian transports, they were declared traitors and executed. Their clan dome was seized, their assets frozen. In Draconian society, widows without male relatives had no legal standing. They were ghosts. And the child? Eric asked, watching little Pyrrhix sleep on a cushion near the heating vent. Vexina's son, Silthora, explained. They will kill him too if they find us. Male heirs to traitors are not permitted to reach maturity. Eric's jaw tightened. He knew injustice when he saw it. 3 days became a week. Eric found himself making adjustments. He expanded the dome's oxygen mixture to accommodate draconian biology. He taught them to cultivate his garden tomatoes, and carrots fascinated them. Vexina had a gift for engineering and repaired his malfunctioning water Kyloth, quiet but observant, created beautiful art from salvaged metal. Desha helped with Pyrrhix, who was beginning to babble in both Draconian and Broken. Standard. Flora arrived on the 8th day. She was a human xenanthropologist, studying frontier settlements, and Eric's dome had pinged on her survey scanner. When she entered and saw the Draconians, her eyes widened with academic fascination rather than fear. "This is remarkable," Flora breathed, her recording device already active. A human veteran cohabitating with Draconian widows. The sociological implications, turn that off, Eric growled. Flora blinked, then complied. Over dinner, a strange fusion of human stew and Draconian spiced fungus, she listened to their story. Her expression shifted from curiosity to outrage. "The Galactic Council needs to hear this," she said. "Draconian treatment of widows violates at least 6 interspecies equity accords." "The Council won't care," Silthera said bitterly. "We are not citizens. We are property that lost its owners." Flora's jaw set in a way that reminded Eric of himself. Then we make them care. Over the following weeks, Flora documented everything. She interviewed each widow, recorded their testimonies, and researched draconian law. She discovered a legal loophole widows could claim: sanctuary under the protection of a recognized war veteran from any species, provided that veteran formally advocated for them. You'd have to go before the council, Flora explained to Eric. Publicly claim them under your protection. Eric stared into his coffee. He'd left military life to escape politics, bureaucracy, and the spotlight. But when little Pyrrhix climbed into his lap, chittering happily about the red fruit balls in the garden, his decision crystallized. Set up the meeting. The Galactic Council chamber on Station Unity was exactly as Eric remembered, pretentious and cold. Representatives from 40 species occupied floating platforms, their translation fields creating a low hum. The Draconian delegation, led by the same corrupt admiral responsible for the brothers' deaths, radiated contempt. Eric stood in the petitioner's circle, the 5 widows behind him. Flora sat in the observer's gallery, her recording equipment officially sanctioned this time. This human wastes our time, the admiral hissed. These females are internal matters. Eric's voice cut through the chamber. These females are people. Their husbands were executed for refusing illegal orders to attack civilian vessels. I've reviewed the flight logs Flora obtained. You ordered raids on unarmed colony transports for personal profit. The chamber erupted. The admiral's scales flushed dark purple with rage, but several other draconian representatives looked uncomfortable. Eric pressed his advantage. I invoke Article 7 of the Coalition Treaty. As a decorated veteran, I claim these individuals under my formal protection. Any action against them is an action against me and an act of war against humanity. The human delegation, caught off guard, scrambled to support him. The political implications were massive, but the evidence was undeniable. After 6 hours of debate, the council voted. The widows were granted asylum under Eric's protection. The admiral was suspended pending investigation back on Kasha 7. Life found a new rhythm. Eric's dome expanded into a small compound. Flora stayed on, ostensibly to document this unique household, but Eric suspected she simply liked being there. The widows created a thriving business, selling their art and draconian delicacies to curious traders. One evening, Eric sat in his garden, watching the crimson sunset. Pyrrhix was teaching Flora a draconian game while the widows prepared dinner. Silthera settled beside him. You gave us more than shelter, she said quietly. You gave us dignity. Eric shrugged, uncomfortable with gratitude. Just did what was right. That, Silthera replied, is why humans terrify us. You define right by conscience, not by law. It makes you unpredictable, dangerous, and sometimes, she gestured at the compound, alive with laughter and life. Miraculous. Eric smiled. His solitude was gone, replaced by something he hadn't known he needed. Not just purpose, but family strange interspecies, and utterly improbable. In the dome where a lone veteran once lived, 7 people now called home.